All right, senior home business family, happy Wednesday. Brittany and Matt are here on Real Talk. That's what we're going to do today. This is not a topic in particular. Now, you're going to hear a lot of topics because we're just going to be talking randomly about this business. Now, how can we just talk randomly about this business? Because, Brittany, I think we do this business on a daily basis. So it's so easy to talk about this business on a randomly because we're not trying to come up with the topic. We're not chat GBT in this stuff. We're not going on Google and researching, oh my gosh, what exactly to say. We're going to tell you what we say and all that stuff. So if you're watching and you want to jump and you're watching live, it's not the recorded version for you. If you're watching live, just go ahead and hit something in the chat. We'll put your question or comment on the screen and we'll talk about that as well. But we'll get into it. So welcome. And let me get something out of the way real quick. If you want to know more about the senior placement business, i.e. the senior, what do we call it, Brittany? Senior what? Placement is the dude. SBI. If you want to know more about what we do and how we do it, you can click down and join either watch a free webinar or you can schedule a consultation call with me. But let's get into it, Brittany. I'm going to talk about this business. And hopefully we'll get some questions. If not, we'll just rapid fire. But man, I just want to start off by saying I absolutely love this business. I mean, I got a call yesterday. One of the calls that kind of broke my heart in a sense because, they cannot afford anything. Dad is, hey, Jacqueline, how are you doing? Good to assess one of our students in San Diego. If you need any services in the senior placement business, you want to reach out to Jacqueline. Jacqueline, throw your handles up. We'll throw them up there for you. If somebody sees it down San Diego, we would love for you to get the business. Jacqueline is such a sweetheart of an individual, such a just is all around skilled individual, knows the business, and we just love her a lot. So, but anyway, I got this call. I was from this guy, and he heard about me from a neighbor of his that I helped their parents out. I think it was her mom a long time ago, and he just wanted to know what in the world to do. Before we get into it, Jacqueline, there's her handles. Is a Halo Senior Living Services. Man, I love that. Just put the halo on. I love that. That's awesome, Jacqueline. I'll leave it up for a little bit. But anyway, back to the story. Essentially, Dad just had $1,300 a month. That's all. He's living with his son, and he has been for the last 5 years. He has a certain level of dementia that the son didn't know, but he just going through that forgetful stage. And, I don't know if he's leaving the stove on, but kind of just going through all that kind of stuff. It's just, it's sad. And he has no way of paying, and the son has no means to pay for it. So in this business, you're going to have situations like that, you guys. You're going to get leads from individuals that, bottom line, no matter how I spruce it up, no matter how I say, oh man, all leads are good leads, they are. The reason I say they're all good leads, Brittany, is because I love talking to people. I love hanging out with people. I love helping the best I can. But in this particular situation, I went through every possible scenario. Veterans benefits, no, not in the war. Medi-Cal, in California we call it Medi-Cal. I know the other 49 states call it Medicaid, but Medi-Cal, he didn't have any clue about, what was going on there. It just was a lost cause, and it's going to take a good while for that individual to get some additional income in some form or fashion. I have no idea, but that's what's happening. So you'll get those, right, Brittany? You'll get some low-income leads. You'll get some people that you may not be able to help, like move. But it is a cool business where you get to help people. I mean, this guy and I had literally a 20-minute conversation. And he told me a little bit at the beginning how much Dad had, like right out of the gate. And sometimes they don't do that, but he did. I easily could have just got off the call and said, you know what, can't help you. I mean, that's not the spirit of what you're going to be successful in this business. If you're all about just out getting leads and just going out to get what you can do to get your pocketbooks and like I said, wallet for me. I don't have a pocketbook. Brady, you have a pocketbook? Okay, you don't have a pocketbook either, so I don't know why we're talking about pocketbooks. But anyway, they kind of put the money in your coffers, but it's more about helping people. So you agree with that?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I'm one that always helps. I never hang up, even if they have low income or even if they're already on Medicaid, right? In my states, if they're on Medicaid and they call me and say, hey, like the skilled nursing that my mom's at, we're unhappy. Well, that's not something we typically do, but am I going to educate them, let them know what's out there? Of course. I think also if, Jack, and we even talked about this, if she's still listening, that, people that shop around.
She just threw up a comment. She says she's working with an 88-year-old gentleman, makes too much for Medi-Cal, not enough levels of care he needs. It's tough. Yeah, that is. You'll get some situations like that. That's real talk, real life situation. Go ahead, Brittany.
No, yeah, even to that, like, I mean, you almost feel helpless, right? There's not much we can say. I always say to myself, I can't create like a assisted living down the street that costs $1,200 a month. We can't come up with magic, but what we can do, I think the families really appreciate us listening because they don't have someone that's going to not charge them for anything, to listen to them, to educate them, and just know that like we're there for them. That's all we can do in that scenario. And it's hard. Yeah, Jacqueline, I feel for you. It's like you're almost speechless, right? So you just have to give them the facts almost and educate them. Almost no one knows all these things. So what I was going to say, me and Jacqueline talked about like the shoppers, right? There's a lot of families that might go out, call the national companies, call maybe a local agency, and start calling every community on their own. And they call you and say, hey, I got your name, or, I just wanted to talk to you. I saw you on Facebook, whatever it is. I just want to see if I'm making the right decision. Do you have anything else out there for me? Is there something cheaper? And, me and Jacqueline talked about it. And it's like, at that point, you are just there to usually solidify their decision. You're there to make them feel comfortable about the decision they've probably already made in their head, or unfortunately they didn't get the help they needed. So you're there to help. It's pro bono. But like you said, you're there for the families. It's not all about getting your pocketbook. I'm working with one right now. And I commented, Jinx, I got one last night.
Jinx.
Yeah, I got one last night, and this is ending differently, but I talked to her and she called a national company. She's also called all of them on her own. So she's working both sides of it. And I talked to her and I said, I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to make sure your mom gets in the right place. It won't be the same process that I usually do because I'm cut out of doing a lot of what I usually do, negotiation, sometimes tours. Like I can't do everything I do, but I'm here to be there for you. Well, I called a community and I said, hey, I know she could be a great fit there. I think she already called a national company. You probably already have the lead. They said, let me look. They did not have the lead from the national company, but they did have it from their website. She said, well, don't worry about it. I'm attaching your name to it right now because you're this lead. So sometimes it does work out. So if I would have answered the phone and they said, oh, I called the national company and I've already shopped everywhere. And I said, oh, have a good day. I would have missed out on that opportunity. So it's not always that way. A lot of times at that point, there's nothing you can do, but respectfully, you talk to them, you walk them through it, and you still help them. So
absolutely. Got another comment here. Senior living advisor, notary. Man, I appreciate you being a notary. I found an AL memory care in my state for lower income. There is a waiting list, but just having the resource is great to let seniors know. Absolutely. I've got a couple of those in my area that are low income. And to your point, senior living advisor, it's, they're oftentimes full, and they just are for obvious reasons, right? We got a lot of seniors moving. We keep talking about that all the time. I mean, I can tell you, I could pretty much guess how many seniors are moving in your area based on a mathematical formula that I know. And so knowing that information, and not all seniors can afford assisted living memory care. So it's helpful, senior living advisor, thank you for doing that you have a place that you can refer to that's lower income. And have that in your arsenal. It may not be the ideal place. It might not be the place that you would actually want your mom or dad to go to. I'm not sure. But I'm sorry. It's Yanni. I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't recognize the name, Yanni. So, hey, I appreciate you saying your name. It's so good to see you. Anyway, I just kept calling you senior living advisor. But, great kudos on doing that, Yanni. Get those low income as well. And because you want to become a resource, right, Brittany? I mean, we've got to be a resource for people of all spectrums across the financial board. I mean, some are going to come to us like the guy I talked to last night, $1,300 a month. And then I talked to some people that are like, man, how about $5,000 or $6,000? Would that be all right? And I'm like, man, that works too, right? And then other people can afford more. So I would encourage you guys, do not receive a phone call or go into a conversation with anyone with a preconceived idea that they cannot afford it. That is so easy to do, especially when you've run through a string of ones, 4, 5, 6 people, and they're all low income. What your mind will do to you, you'll start playing tricks. It'll start going, well, none can afford it. They're all low income. No one's got money. Man, there's 8 billion people on this earth. And I don't know how many people are in the United States. I forgot the number, but there's a lot in the United States. And guess what? There's a lot of people that can afford it. So don't allow your mind to play tricks on you, because it will. It's kind of like, you ever had a sales job out there and you're watching this, you're an entrepreneur trying to figure out what we're talking about and all this stuff. But if you're an entrepreneur and you're selling a product or a service and you've gone through 5, 6, 7 rejections, right? People that just don't want your product, don't want your service. They turned you down. You feel like you're hopeless. You don't know what to do. No one's buying. No one's got any money. That's not true. And you look at other people doing exact same service or selling a product, and they're killing it. So don't allow your mind to play tricks on you, right, Brittany? I mean, because it can, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've done it to myself. And then they say, oh, well, I have $1 million in assets. I'm like, whoa, that was totally not the way that you go, but it does. I mean, you can get into a rut with anything, like any sales job, any entrepreneur. There's times where it goes in, we call waves. You might have a wave where you have everyone that has a budget of $10,000 a month. And then you might go through a wave where they need Medicaid. It just depends. And I will say, just to kind of piggyback off the Medicaid thing, before I even knew that I might get paid for this current lead that I'm talking about, before I even called the community, her words were, I'm so thankful that you're helping me. And I did tell her it was pro bono because, again, it wasn't my normal process. And I told her a place the national company had already locked in her information. So she said, don't worry, I'm a connector. She said, I will spread your name everywhere. And that's before so it just goes to show, and it's not all about what you get. We need to give more than we take, but it will come back tenfold to work with those lower income, educate them and help them, because they will spread your name for helping them.
Absolutely. We got another one out there, student Tim Place. If their families are willing to divest the senior down to the max for Medicaid, they can then find a place that will take them. We have some great programs for seniors in North Carolina in Lots Place. Man, that is awesome, Tim. We need more programs for seniors. I mean, I'm almost tired of telling people that I talk to there's programs for seniors. Like, I called myself last night talking to that guy and said, hey, you know what? There's programs for seniors. And as soon as it came out of my mouth, it's like, we don't have nowhere near enough programs for seniors. I don't know why I keep saying that. And I know why, because there's a few programs. But, man, Tim, that's awesome. You got some programs out there in North Carolina, man, the great East Coast, just one state below where I was born and raised. If you guys didn't know, I was born and raised in Virginia. That's why I sound like I'm from the East Coast. So anyway, that's awesome. Awesome. Good deal. Good deal. All right, Brittany. Well, man, I tell you what, going through some situations with families, I mean, some moments that put a smile on my face, because I'm in this business, you guys, if you're just learning or you're just getting into it, in this business, you'll have some sad moments. You'll have some moments where it's just, you'll hear a story that just will literally break your heart. I mean, that's why we always tell you to be a person of empathy, be a person that's going to put yourself in someone else's shoes and treat them like they're your own parents, right? Because if you do that and you put yourself in that moment, it's going to break your heart. But there's some happy moments, and some of the happy moments that I've seen, Brittany, I think you've encountered too, is once the senior gets moved in, and when you circle back around to that community and you see the senior, they've become acclimated to that community. They're super involved, and to me, that puts a smile on my face. I don't know. I just walk through the community. I go, oh my gosh. And sometimes the senior, quite honestly, they don't even recognize me. And most times, in my case, you guys know I used to do a lot of boots on the ground, Brittany, a lot of traditional way. And I still do a little bit of that today, very, very little. I do a lot more online, a lot more virtual tour way of doing it. So oftentimes the senior doesn't even see me, so they have no way of knowing who I was anyway. But if I did do it the traditional way and they see me, sometimes they don't recognize me. Sometimes they do. It all depends. But I remember this one lady that I had the opportunity to place in a standalone memory care. And it was just a great situation for her. And I went back and toured with a different family. And there she was having some iced tea, hanging out with 3 other seniors. And I don't remember what game they were playing, but they were playing some board game. And they just came in from outside on the patio. And it just made me feel good, because that lady, probably 4-6 weeks prior to that, was living by herself in a mobile home park, and she was taking care of herself. She was literally driving herself to the store. She was buying groceries. She was cooking, doing everything that she probably should not have been doing. But the family lived out of town. They really didn't know, what was going on until they started kind of picking up some stuff. So you have some happy moments, right, Brittany?
A lot, yeah. It's our day.
Tell me a story about a happy moment. We need happiness in this business sometimes. Because I talked to a guy not long ago. I mean, literally 2 weeks ago, he was contemplating getting into the Senior Placement Institute. And I'll tell you where he's from. I don't want to tell you his name, but he's from New Jersey. If you're out there and you listen to this, man, I really enjoyed talking to you. I really did. But he had a valid point. He goes, man, I really contemplating getting this business because I see the potential and I want to help people. It wasn't like he was just trying to get into business just for money. He said, but man, this business is going to break my heart, man. I mean, I'm going to be sad all the time. I don't want to be sad. And we had a really heart-to-heart conversation. So give me a happy story, Brittany.
Yeah, I've got plenty. I'll do a recent one. So really recent, as of last Friday. So individual living at home, had dementia, taking care of herself, had a lot of hallucinations going on, just really sad story, not safe at home. The family was completely distraught. First time they've ever been through this. We went through everything really rapid fire. She was in the hospital. I called them Monday and we were really concerned. I was concerned myself. You know, we always get concerned sometimes on moves in the back of our head. Like we are hoping for the best because we are empathetic. I do treat these people like they are my own family. You know, I really do get involved. And I called yesterday. I gave them a few days to kind of get acclimated to the community. She's loving it. We were all concerned it was going to be a hard transition for her. She has made friends, and yes, it's still early, but they said they could not be more happy. They can go to sleep at night knowing their loved one is safe. She was eating lunch with multiple residents, talking, and she used to be so social, but she had so isolated herself to her home. And she was hallucinating about her neighbor and all of these things. It has not come up once. I know it's early, but that's a little win, you know, and that's
a big win. That's a big win.
Yeah. Like, and it might change. And, you know, we go through that with the family that it might not all be peaches and cream always, but they brought her 55-inch screen TV into her room. And she said, have all the neighbors come over and watch TV with me. It was just really sweet. So that's a very recent one, but I have plenty. I mean, honestly, I probably have over 100 now. And I do genuinely believe, I know it can be sad. There's so much sad that is in this business, death, guilt, grieving. There's so much. There's so many emotions, but I can confidently say the moves that I have done, I would really genuinely believe 99.9% of them have been positive. No matter if it's a little bit positive, no matter if it was only for a week and someone no longer is with us, if it was a fast move, whatever it is, I do think there is benefit to senior living. I genuinely believe that. Just like you said, seeing them socialize or even talking to a caregiver, if they've been so isolated, there's so much positive that goes into it.
Absolutely. And think of the peace of mind for the families. Now, I know you guys, let me put a caveat to this. There's no community out there that's perfect, right? So you're going to hear stories, but you need to hear some good stories too. It's kind of like watching the news. The reason they want to tell you bad news is because they want to bait you to get on to the watch and listen and all that stuff, right? Very seldom do you turn on the news and it's something good. I mean, and same with senior living or any other category area you want to think about. They want to draw you in with the bad stories. And there are some bad stories, but there's, countless stories that are just fantastic. They're great. And families can have peace of mind knowing, like the family I said earlier, out of town, but now mom's not living in the mobile home park by herself cooking and going to get groceries. No, she's in a vibrant community with others being well taken care of. And so that would give me peace of mind. Speaking of being taken care of, Jack says one way we can help know the free resources available to seniors here in San Diego, call 211. Now, is that a national number for everybody? I assume that is because it's kind of an offshoot of 411. I don't know that for sure, so don't quote me. But is that just for San Diego or is that a national thing out there? Anybody know? Hit in the chat for me. Do you know, Brittany?
If I call 211 in Texas, it brings me to the Texas state resources. I just did it last week. So if I call 211 here in Texas, it takes me to Texas state resources for seniors.
Hey,
so if
I dial it. Let's call them. Find out what happens. Let's go. Let's run over here thing. We're going to find out if 211 is a national. I imagine it is because it's so close to 411.
To continue in English, press 1.
So it says 211 Texas. Now you try. See if it
says
211 California.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Let me see.
If I called, it says 211 Texas.
Let's see here, you guys. We're going to find out because we'll make sure on this channel, we make sure we give out correct information. We don't want any misinformation out there today, right, you guys? All right, so let's go.
Thank you for calling 211 Fresno. For English.
There it is. All right, it's a national thing, you guys. All right, we appreciate that. Thank you, Jacqueline, for bringing that to my attention. I think I've heard about that at some point down the road. I've never used this. First time I ever called 211 on my phone, but that's a great resource. So do all that. And you want to have resources, especially in this business, as a senior placement advisor or agent. I typically say agent. There's multiple different names out there. So if you're kind of just Googling this thing or trying to figure out what in the world we're doing is, placement agents or, it's kind of all one the same. But you want to have multiple resources because you want to have families that call you. And don't think in terms of just where can I place them, independent, assisted living, memory care. What you want to do is I immediately start thinking, as I listen to their story, that's all first. And we're not going to get into the process today. But as we do all that, but then I get into thinking, okay, this is a puzzle. I got to figure out this problem in this situation. So I treat the situation as though, again, if it was my mom or dad, not only from the care standpoint that I want them to receive the best care, but from a practical standpoint that if my mom or dad came to me and said, I only had $1,100, and I know the scenario is a little bit different because I'm their son, I'm the only child, and I need to kick in and help out. But let's take that piece out, right? But if they came with me for a situation or problem, I would have to solve it as their son. So that's the way I treat and talk with my clients as well. So do you feel that way, Brittany? I mean, as far as getting down and kind of being a problem solver, or you kind of look at it differently?
No, 100%. I think that's what we are. So even when it comes to like, if it's not finances, let's just say there's a situation where somebody's in the hospital or rehab and they're being discharged and we have to get them to their next place, right? Or maybe it's not that. Maybe they need in-home care support, nothing to do with placement. Maybe we need to have in-home care support for a week until we can get them into assisted living or memory care or whatever it might be. So there's so many moving parts during this that it's not cut and dry. So every situation is different. So as you're listening to the clients and the families when they're telling you their story, you have to start brainstorming how exactly are we going to get them the care they need, if it's care, the resources they need. If it is placement, where are we putting, where are we coming up with ideas? If we're on a tight time frame, how many moving parts have to happen? I have had moments where I'm ordering wheelchairs, I'm ordering walkers, making sure that when they get from a rehab to assisted living, they have a walker there waiting for them. So like, there's just little parts that you have to make sure that are all going into place. So yeah, we are a problem solver. We are putting puzzle pieces together.
And let me give you a little bit of a mindset shift for all of you guys out, no matter what you're doing, especially in this business. If you wake up each and every day and you're full of gratitude, you're just grateful for life, that will shift your approach when you talk to families. Like when I get a call, even last night, even after the first couple minutes, and I knew the information, because that doesn't usually happen for me. They don't usually go right into the money for some reason, but this one did. I was still grateful. I was grateful I was able to talk to him. I treat like I'm talking to a close friend of mine, a family member, something like that. And that's the way I would encourage anybody out there doing this business, because I've had leads come to me, and they're usually not really great leads. And there's a reason why, because the leads that were coming this direction that I'm talking about already called a different advisor, a different company. And they just got off the phone within 5-10 minutes, because they just knew, especially like this guy here, $1,300. There's some people in my area, they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you. And they feel like that's a waste of time. And I get why they're saying it. They're not bad people. It's not like they're rude. I think that is rude, but I don't think they're necessarily inherently rude and terrible people. I think they're really good people, the ones I know. But it's inconsiderate, man. You want to be grateful you're talking to that individual and exhausting all your resources to figure out what you can do to help that individual. And it may come down to like last night when I talked to somebody, because some of you might think, man, okay, Matt's been doing this for years, so everybody he talks to, he closes, he moves. Brittany, that's far from the truth. You know me, that doesn't happen all the time, like i.e. last night. So you just want to move with gratitude when you talk to people. I really enjoy it. I enjoy helping people. It's treating each day as a new day, as we should in any business that we're doing. And as people contact us, we reach out to them. I'm just thankful that we're able to have that conversation. And who knows, one word you say to that individual could inspire them, bring hope, that they may have, like that guy last night. Hopefully I provide some inspiration for him. I don't know if I did or not. I think his tone of his voice changed a little bit, but I'm not sure. But, just being kind. I mean, I really could have brought him from a place of, discouragement with his dad to even a lower state, right? Of, oh, man, there's no help. I'm sorry, man. $1,300, you can't go anywhere. I'm sorry, man. I can't help you. Well, I mean, I don't know what that had done to the guy, but having a good conversation, he can call me, text me. I always do that. I know, Brittany, you do that a lot when people that are at their wits' end, not really what to do. And even clients that we have, obviously, but even the ones that, $1,300 a month can't afford anything, I just let them know, hey, man, text me if you got any questions. You can call me. I'm here. I'm here to help. And I really believe that kindness comes back around. I mean, the world calls it karma. I call it a couple other different things, but still, what do we want to call it? It's just the world and the universe is going to give right back to you what you're giving out. So if you want kindness, give out some kindness. If you want some peace, give somebody else peace. It's just kind of like you give, it shall be given unto you. It's kind of a good biblical principle and it's a good principle in the world. But man, I tell you, I don't know, Brittany, I just love this business. I hope and pray that people that are watching this video that would say, hey, I want to be a part of it. And it's just amazing. I know it's changed your life, Brittany. Give me one area that it's changed besides finances. We know there's a lot of money on the table and all that stuff, but just for you personally, how has this benefited you?
Yeah, I think I've always been an empathetic person my whole life, but I think it's opened my eyes to even a deeper empathetic, like just making me more empathetic and putting myself in these people's shoes, and the reward that it comes from it. So I genuinely feel I love the reward, again, financial aside, just the the good feeling. I mean, it really just makes you, I'm excited to work every day. I've never dreaded going to work. I've never dreaded a meeting. I've never dreaded a phone conversation. You know, everything can get discouraging in life, but I really do think it genuinely has made me just a more well-rounded person. You know, I am young, so I'm giving people advice that are my parents' age on how to, you know, navigate this. And I really do feel like no matter what age you are, you can do this business. And I really just feel like also, you know, it's helped mature, I guess you could say, like put me in a different place. So for me, I think it's just made me really look at a big picture of my life, of my parents' life. And it is the most rewarding job. It doesn't feel like work. And to that, I think what everybody dreams of is doing something that doesn't feel like work that you're so passionate about. So it's really changed my life.
Yeah, I've had some people I've talked to get into the Senior Placement Institute, and this is not for everybody, guys. So don't take this as a blanket statement, but I've had some that, you know, say, man, I really want to do something meaningful. The product I'm selling is just not, I can't, it's hard to get out of bed in the morning, or the service I'm selling, and it's just not really what I want to do. It's just something I feel like I have to do. And if that's you, I would encourage you to just drop down and click the link, schedule a call with me, watch the webinar. This business is so rewarding. I know we talk about, even on this channel, and I know there's other people in the world, especially in the United States, are talking about this business, how much money you can make and all that stuff. And there's a lot of money you can make, but it's beyond the money. I mean, if I don't get a lead or a move in today, I'm okay with it. You know, not only just because of the money, it's just because of the fact that, man, I know another lead's coming, and I know the right people are going to be drawn to me. I mean, I do walk that out, far as I don't go out and pursue people. I know we're supposed to do that, and I know we teach that. I know I did that early on in my business, so I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm at a place in my business now, I just don't do that anymore. I mean, now I am getting ready. Now, Brittany, I didn't show you this last time, but I wanted to. But this week, I'm going to be handing out some stress balls, baby, because what? It's football time. Woo! So it's got my phone number on there and all that little stuff. And so we'll be passing these things out, be going up there and, you know, going up to some social workers and saying, hey, you know, I know it's a stressful job. Just want to thinking about you.
Yeah.
It says football season. Can go off or pass. You know, I don't know. Just gotta play with it. You know, I know my personality type is a little bit different in that kind of regard. You know, will they literally go out for a pass? No. I mean, maybe one will. Who knows? And that could be the very thing that makes you different in this business. This is kind of a pro tip. I'm telling you, everybody in this business passing out business cards, brochures, trying to get leads all the traditional way. And there's countless other ways you can get leads. I just thought football season, bam, I'm pass out some stress balls because their business is stressful. And I got 150 of these things in this box over here. I'm gonna be out there passing them out, man. Boom. You know, Matt Stafford back in the day, I used to be a quarterback in high school. I don't know. I probably can't throw with a lick now. You know, I don't think I could throw a lick when I was in high school, much less today. But it's some of the things you can do. And the reason I bring this up is not only give you an idea, but also how much fun this business is. It's just so much fun. And I'm telling you, these 150 stress balls did not cost me a whole lot. It really didn't. I mean, these things they're the stress balls. Yeah. But what I've figured out about things like this, I got them on my desk. I got pens. I got a little stress ball over there about different company and different things, is if it's something like this, I tend to put it on my desk. I only can't see where on my desk is, but anyway, I can put it on my desk and I'll keep it. A business card, they may keep, especially if there's a connection, they'll keep it. Understand that. Brochure, probably keep it if there's a connection, but if not, that thing's gonna get on a brochure rack, collect dust, it's gonna go in the wastebasket. Business cards can get lost with the other ones. Things like this, oh, buddy, I think they're going to keep it. I think they're eventually going to look at it. And what I did, here's another pro tip. If you decide to do this, I used to have a company line. So this makes it easier for me. I don't have a company line anymore because I literally do this business, Brittany, from my cell phone. I don't think you're a big proponent of CRMs. I know people are, and I'm bagging that and that kind of thing. I literally do it the old school way where I got my file cabinet over there, got a bunch of information. All the contacts are in my phone. I literally can do this business on my phone. The reason I say that is I used to have an 887 number, and I got rid of that a couple of years ago because I was never using the thing. You know, some people would call on the phone. That was cool, but I'd rather have on my cell phone, right? So I got my cell number on the football. I mean, I want them to call, them text me, call me, especially text. Boy, I want the social worker's cell number. Let's get busy. Woo! Anyway, because it's football season, right? NFL's tomorrow. You got to watch some football. Hopefully, some of you might not like the NFL. I don't know, but I really enjoy football. I'm glad it's here. Sports is like dead after basketball's done until football starts. Anyway, I don't know how we got talking about football. I guess because of stress balls, right? Don't be stressful. And let me tell you something. If you're stressful about your financial situation, this is a business to get involved in. This is a business that you can do that doesn't cost a whole lot of money to get involved. Now, there's an investment with us. Obviously, there's an investment. But we can get it down financially to between $100 to $200 a month. And you can pay all that back once you start getting your move-ins. That's what's incredible. Now, if you decide to go the franchise route, that's a lot more money. I'm not bagging them by no means, but I don't like the limitation they put on you, just 5 zip codes. But this, you'll be an independent, a couple $100 a month. We can get you in, teach you things like this. And the overhead is next to nothing, Brittany. I don't know if I spend hardly any money on anything. Now, some of you guys are thinking I'm lying because you see 2 32-inch monitors behind me. There's one right in front of me. I got computer upstairs. But, you know, I do that because it makes my job easier. But I literally can do this business from my cell phone. And then the other reason I get all these 32-inch monitors is because Matt Stafford is 55 years of age, and he wears these little suckers. So, I mean, I can't tell you how much I struggle sometimes to do a text. I mean, and I used to joke on a guy I used to work with years ago. He had this phone, and he had glasses like this, the thicker lenses, and he had the giant print on his phone. And I remember joking on him going, dude, it's like PowerPoint. I can see the crap from here. What are you doing? And then you fast forward 10 years from that point, I'm doing the same thing, I think. So anyway.
Karma.
Isn't that crazy?
That's your karma.
That's my karma. Yeah, you're right. Okay, Sir C. You want some excitement, peace in your life, or you want to joke on somebody, the jokes will come back on you. You're right. That's my karma. God dang it. Oh, man. Maybe that too. I went to the doctor yesterday, Brittany, and the doctor informed me that I'm 55 and I'm late on the appointment. Any guys out there want to join in and tell me how this feels? But in about 8 weeks, I'll be getting a colonoscopy. Oh,
I've had 3.
Oh, I can't.
It's just the prep. Good luck. It's just the prep.
I'm not looking forward to that at all. Yeah. Anyway, okay. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate our students. I appreciate the people that participated today. Thank you for joining. Again, if you want to know more about the business, the links are down below. If you're one of our students, don't forget about the midweek collaboration meetings, the workshops, and I think you got the basic thing coming on next Monday. Next Monday. If you've been in the business less than 90 days, you're part of the Senior Placement Institute and get involved in basics. Just a more basic understanding of the business and walk you through step by step. We do all that kind of stuff, senior home business. We're really excited about this industry, excited about people out there who want to join our team and be a part of a community. We really love you guys and appreciate you. Until next time, God bless.